welcome to a very special episode of Geek Speak. My name is Alex, and I'm the voice that will be introducing you to things. I apologize for all my cheesy intros in advance. Later on, you will hear the voice of our very own Lauren, as well as some other voices. Some of them might be familiar to you. As you might have heard on the last episode of Geek Speak, Lauren went to Video Game BAFTA Awards last week, and there she got a chance to talk to some of the talented and fabulous folk who make those video games that we play. So, without further ado, first up we have an interview with Danny Wallace, who definitely wasn't alone and who also hosted BAFTA Games 2017.
So I'm here with Danny Wallace, the host of the BAFTA Game Awards 2017. How do you feel?
I feel all right. I feel relieved. It's over. I got away with it. No one fell over. No one died. No one's going to sue me. And it was fun. It's great. What a nice bunch of people. And what I really love about this whole event is the fact that you have all these people who are brought together who are fans of each other's work. You know, there aren't these. I mean, there's probably a bit of rivalry, but it's a friendly rivalry, and actually it's based on respect. And I think that's just a wonderful thing. And respect as well is just given by the fact that it is BAFTA. What a brilliant thing that BAFTA do.
I've been here for the past 3 years and I've found nothing but respect. Everyone's been super nice, really respectful of each other and very complimentary of the other games. So I'm going to be quite mean and say, what was your favourite game out of all the nominees?
Wow, well I suppose I can say now that I'm no longer in a position of responsibility. Contractually, I'm done now.
Was it Thomas Was Alone? Because it's my game of every year. I keep asking Mike Bithell to make a second, but he won't.
Mike made a second. See, we can just do that and then just send it to him and then...
Absolutely.
We'll do the rest.
Please tell him to.
Yeah. Well, there was lots of games that were nominated tonight that I thought were kind of amazing. You know, you have to give so much respect to a game like that, Dragon Cancer. Inside did extraordinarily well this evening for good reason. In terms of just sitting down and playing a game, Overwatch, brilliant. Battlefield 1, fantastic. I'm a big fan of Rocket League, so to meet that fellow was a bit of a thrill. So yeah, my wife will sometimes walk into the room and she'll just look, and in that slightly cliched way, you know, she'll just go, "What are you doing?" And I go, "I'm just playing this game." And she'll go, "What is it?" And I'll go, "It's cars playing football." And she'll go, "That's fine," and walk out again.
I can't say much. My partner comes in and I'm playing Diablo. I go upstairs, he's playing GTA, so it works.
It's a partnership made in heaven.
Next up, we have Josh Watson from Psyonix, who done this little very coveted title called Rocket League that you might have heard something about, possibly, probably. Anyway, here it is.
The first thing I want to say is thank you for your game, because a lot of our readers and actually our staff play this game regularly and part of our game and night group, so thank you very much for creating Rocket League.
Well, thank you for playing it. I mean, it's incredible. Thank you.
So how do you feel about winning Evolving Game?
I'm speechless. It is an incredible honor just to be nominated, and this is the second year we've been able to take home one of these wonderful masks, so it's incredible.
So how do you feel like your game is going to evolve in the future?
Oh, we're just ready to continue to push this thing as far as it can go. Our players are still very active, they're excited, they're enthusiastic, and we're going to keep trying to support the things they want to see with the game.
How do you feel you compare to the other nominees in the category?
Oh, wow. Honestly, it was exciting just to be nominated with incredible games like Eve and Final Fantasy XIV, Destiny, which is a juggernaut, and they got their new game coming out. So I think each one of those games absolutely deserved to win, and it honestly was enough just to be nominated with them.
Okay, so I'm very jealous about the next person Lauren got to interview. It's CeCe Jones, the voice from Delilah from Firewatch, and she's fabulous.
So, you've just won a BAFTA. What did you win it for?
Oh my god, best performance in Firewatch as Delilah.
As you deserve it. Your performance was absolutely amazing, very evocative, very engaging. How did you get into that mindset?
You know, I knew I was going to be working with a world-class team, from the writer, director, producer, and my partners, my scene partner, Rich. And so just giving it everything I had.
How do you feel winning this BAFTA?
I can't even. Like this.
You deserve it. It's amazing. You did so well.
Thank you. For someone who talks for a living, I am at a loss for words.
So how do you feel moving forward now that you have this BAFTA?
Just every day, you know, it's one foot in front of the other every day, right? I am so lucky that I get to do something that I adore and people pay me to do it, and that never changes. So, hooray for that.
Our next interview is with Lyndon, Holland, composer and sound designer for Virginia. Here it is.
I'm here with Virginia, who just won for Best Music. How do you feel?
Still a bit shaky, but I'm delighted to have won. It's an amazing achievement, I suppose, to be recognised by BAFTA, so I'm just really happy.
How do you feel you compare to some of the other nominees in the same category?
Honestly, I didn't think there was a chance I was going to win because the other categories are so strong. I still haven't taken it in, but I think that it could have gone to anyone. Brilliant music all around.
How do you feel music plays a part in your game? I know it's a very music central, there's not much dialogue, but how do you feel it really creates the sense of your game?
I suppose, as well as creating some sort of atmosphere and emotion, it also just helps explain what's going on, because so much of a context is created by the music, and helps forward the story along. The momentum of the music helps with that. So, I mean, it's a real gift to work on Virginia, to be honest, as one of my first video games. So I'm just really lucky to be able to work on something like Virginia.
So how does this create the standard for you moving on within your medium of music in games?
I would love to do more work with interactive, adaptive music. I just think there's so much you can do with it, which it's experimental. It's kind of, there was no tutorial to work from when I was making the game, so I just think it's just really exciting to create new ways of the music developing within a video game.
Next up is John Romero. I don't think any other introductions are needed, right?
I'm John Romero, and I've done almost everything. Game designer and programmer and level designer and all kinds of stuff.
How do you feel your legacy will contribute to the future of gaming?
Well, first-person shooters, for one, is...
I interviewed John Carmack last year, so it's kind of like 2 in 2 years. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I guess the legacy of first-person shooters is an important one, and along with that, I think the discipline of 3D level design, that so many people spend their time getting into the industry through that. Esports, esports are huge. They started out as shooters, and they've turned into a lot of other stuff now.
How do you think your legacy has actually built the gaming of the future, or of the present, if you will?
Well, I think that if you look at any of the latest games today, a lot of the foundational design was in our first games. A lot of the stuff that we did in the very first shooters is in today's shooters still, because that's kind of like the definition of what those games are. Yeah.
Which games do you feel evoke your first ideas of your gaming industry?
Well, I'd say Overwatch is a really great, I love Overwatch, and it is such a great shooter. It's got such great game design balance. And, when we started with Doom, well, we started before Doom, but Doom was the first multiplayer shooter. And with that game, we had so much fun playing it and making it, but Overwatch is really what happens when you take 20-something years later and evolve those designs into a really well-balanced team deathmatch, which we had team deathmatch in Doom. It's just like, this is so well-balanced and so amazing.
And now Lauren speaks to the creators of That Dragon Cancer, Numinous games.
So I'm here with That Dragon Cancer. How do you feel about your win?
We're so excited. We really weren't expecting to win. We were just excited to come and take a trip to England and just be part of all the fanfare. And it's been really just an honor. It's incredible for us to know that our game has meant so much to so many people.
Absolutely. How do you feel about leading the way to other games to innovate with very personal stories in the future?
Well, I don't feel like we're leaders. I feel like we're one amongst a class of games that are doing this. And so I hope that exposure like this allows other stories that are personal in nature to receive the attention they deserve.
So what kind of thing in terms of innovation do you think you bring to this category compared to some of the others that are there?
Well, we hope, depending on how successful we were at it, that mechanics can serve as metaphor, that that when you approach game design as poetry, then it changes the way that you approach the medium. And I think that when we bring in voices of other disciplines, when we bring in those voices of theater and film and everything else, that I think that we can bring a different kind of heart to the products of the video game industry.
Yeah, and I would add that one way that we approach narrative is thinking of it in terms of presence instead of choice. I think that's something that's different from a lot of other video games out there, and definitely something that you see much more in VR now. So I think that's an exciting new frontier, a new way to explore narrative through focusing on what it's like to be in a place, to be with people, to be with Joel, and yeah, that's something new.
And now to the game that brought us the most adorable dog bird thing. This is Fumito Ueda and Jun Yoshino, developers of The Last Guardian.
So you have just won for audio achievement. How do you feel?
オーディオアチーブメント賞を受け取ってどんな気持ち？
正直なところで言うとオーディオの、賞なので、僕自身がこうコンセプトだったりオーダーしたっていうのもあるんですけど、やっぱりメインはサウンドチームの賞だと思ってます。なので、僕が受け取るというよりは早く帰ってサウンドチームに渡したいなっていうのが正直なところです。
So yeah, it's for audio achievement. So you know, as game director, he made the initial orders of what kind of sound that he wanted for the game, but really this award is for the sound team back in Japan, so you just want to go back and give the award to them as soon as possible.
How do you feel that the audio really plays into the game style of The Last Guardian?
オーディオって、ゲーム全体的で言うと、どれぐらいっていうか
重要性ってことですか？そうですね。いや非常に重要ですね。音がないゲーム、音を入れない状態のゲームっていうのも開発者は当然遊ぶんですけど、音があるかないかっていうのは本当にその世界が存在しているかどうかっていうことをなんていうかそこに説得力を出すっていう意味でも音は非常に重要だと思います。
So you know, guys in the development team, would play the game in a state where there's no audio implemented yet, so we can tell like the huge difference. What, you know, even if the audio is quite minimalistic, it really adds to the immersion and the sense of you're in that world, and it just makes the whole thing a lot more convincing. So it's super important. Yeah.
Огонь по готовности! Okay, this is bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, Lauren speaks to Jeffrey Kaplan from Blizzard and Overwatch team. Well, I wasn't gonna do Tracer.
My name is Jeffrey Kaplan from the Overwatch team, and we won Best Multiplayer Game.
First thing I want to say is thank you from our readers and most of my staff, because they play this constantly and they absolutely adore this game. We have a BigRedBarel Game and Nights group, which again play this pretty constantly, so thank you so much for your game.
Well, thank you to you guys for playing. You know, that's the whole reason we made it, is so people could enjoy.
So how do you feel winning this award?
I feel very happy for my team. They worked really hard. I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of this, but our project previous to Overwatch was canceled, and they showed this great dedication and loyalty and just created this vision of an amazing game. So for them to win this just means a lot to me.
How do you feel Overwatch will evolve moving on to the future? Because you won Best Multiplayer and it's going to continue on, but how are you going to make sure it keeps going?
Well, we have an entire team dedicated to nothing but making more Overwatch, and we love doing it. In fact, next Tuesday we have one of our biggest events ever coming out. We just did this huge comic that teased, you know, what's coming out next Tuesday. So I think that's kind of evidence of what lies in the future for us.
So that's Tuesday the 11th of April, which is actually Coleman from BigRedBarel UK's birthday. So what kind of things does it tease?
It teases to talk about some of the backstory in Overwatch, of how Overwatch was back in their glory days, which is something that the fans have really wanted for a long time, to know more about these characters. And it actually features Tracer's first mission.
So how do you feel the interactions between your players and your game will evolve through this?
Well, our players have learned that they have the strongest voice out of anyone when it comes to the development of Overwatch, and they totally have our ear, and we're adapting and evolving the game based on their feedback. And I think our players are very comfortable with being in this position and enjoy being in this position, so we'll continue to evolve the game in the direction they want it to go.
And last but absolutely not least, here's an interview with Naughty Dog about Uncharted 4.
So you just won Best Game. How do you feel?
Speechless. I'm half kidding. We feel, this is an incredible honor for us. And I know everyone at the studio is incredibly excited today. It's this type of recognition that is always unexpected, but it's something that is hugely motivating and exciting for the team.
Was it really unexpected?
It definitely was. I think in any of the award show, and especially in the BAFTAs, all of the nominees were more than deserving of winning this award. It's been an incredible game for years. It's been an incredible year for games this year and in previous years too. And I think the field was really tough. We definitely didn't expect to win this.
How do you feel you compare to some of the other games in the category?
At the end of the day, everyone at the studio, we try to make a game that we want to play, and we pour our heart and soul into just making that game as good as we can. And that's really what we set our sights on. We hope that we can innovate and drive the medium forward. We hope that we can inspire other games as much as they inspire us.
So you accepted the award with two of your voice actors, Troy and Nolan. How do you feel they attributed to you being Best Game?
I think especially, when we think about Nolan, there's no way that we'd have Nathan Drake without his contribution to it. The way that we do a collaborative work with our characters and with our actors, the fact that we do table reads, the fact that they really dive into who they are as actors, and they're able to say, I don't think my character would say that, or I think my character would say this in this situation, or act this way, and how closely they collaborate with us. It wouldn't have been possible without their contributions.
How do you feel the general gameplay style attributed to you becoming Best Game?
Well, I think that Uncharted 4 really had a broad range of the giant action set pieces combined with very intimate character-driven moments that, really shows just the strength of the studio, the strength of the writing team, the directing team, and it allowed everyone to, see a little bit of themselves in the game at the end of the day, and it really is just an honor to be able to work at the caliber that the team at Naughty Dog.
How do you feel this will attribute to the future of Naughty Dog?
I was talking earlier about how winning these types of awards and seeing the fan reception is incredibly motivating for the team. And to us, I think this just means that we're doing something right. We're doing something that is worthy of recognition, and that combined with the inspiration and motivation that we can win awards like this, I think will drive us to continue making the best games that we can in the future.
I think that Naughty Dog has done an amazing job just year after year and game after game, elevating it, not for the sake of winning awards or anything, but really doing it because they love games, they love to play games and experience them, and it really drives them to make each game better for ourselves just as much as anyone.
Well, that's it, dears. I hope you enjoyed our BAFTA special episode of Geek Speak. If you would like to chat with us or have questions for us, you can do so on BRB forums, on Twitter at BigRedBarel using hashtag GeekSpeak, on Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedBarel. You can also chat to us directly on Twitter. Lauren is at the Switch Shrimp. I'm at DustyTulip_, and Joe is at Pictorial Ritual. We will speak to you, or at you rather, very soon. But for now, goodbye and butts.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.